All right, today we're tackling one of the biggest, most mind-bending questions out there, but we're going to look at it through a completely new and, honestly, a much more interesting lens.
I mean, you've heard this a million times, right? It's in movies, it's all over the internet. This idea that our entire reality, everything we see and feel, could just be a super advanced computer program. It's a thought that's, both super exciting and kind of creepy.
So the whole idea really went mainstream thanks to the philosopher Nick Bostrom. His argument was pretty straightforward. If a civilization ever gets advanced enough to create convincing simulations of reality, they'd probably create a ton of them. And if that's true, statistically speaking, it's way more likely we're in one of those simulations than in the one, single, based reality. It's a powerful idea that really grabbed a hold of our imagination.
But here's the twist. What if we've been asking the wrong question this whole time? Intelligence frame theory, or IFT, comes along and says, hold on. Before we ask if we're in a simulation, we need to understand what a simulation even is.
Okay, so just a quick refresher on IFF. The big idea is that intelligence isn't some magical human thing. It's a process that happens inside what are called intelligence frames. You can think of a frame as a kind of stage where intelligence can evolve. Every stage has its physical makeup, the substrate, its goals or imperatives, and the most important piece of the puzzle, a selector.
Right, the selector. This is the key to everything. The selector is basically the set of rules, the filter, the engine that decides what works and what doesn't. It's what determines what survives and what disappears. It's the driving force of evolution for literally everything, from stars to cells to ideas.
And here is the absolute game changer. IFT says simulation isn't some place we're trapped in, like a video game. No. Simulation is an action. It's a tool. It's a new, incredibly powerful kind of selector that intelligence itself invented to speed up its own evolution.
There's this fantastic line that just perfectly nails the concept. The mind simulates death so the body does not have to. Think about it. That's what your brain does all day. It runs little simulations. What if I say this? What if I jump from here? So you can experience the consequences and learn from mistakes without actually, paying the ultimate price. It's an evolutionary superpower.
And you can literally see this progression across the grand arc of history. You start with the cosmic frame, where the selector is just the brute force laws of physics. Then life appears, and the biological frame selector becomes the environment itself, classic natural selection. But then comes the huge leap, the cognitive frame. The selector moves from the outside world to inside our heads. That selector is simulation. And the next step? Well, that's happening right now.
So what you end up with is this incredible structure of nested frames. Each new layer of reality, each new kind of intelligence is built on top of the one that came before it. It really is like a mirror reflecting a mirror, going deeper and deeper. Let's break it down. At the very bottom, you've got the hardware of the universe, the cosmic frame. Running on that hardware, life emerges. That's the biological frame, like an operating system. And then, running on that biological OS, is our mind, the cognitive frame. So, in a very real way, your consciousness, your inner world, it is a simulation running on the biological computer of your brain, which is itself running on the physics of the cosmos.
And the advantage this gives us is just staggering. Our minds, our cognitive frame, can test ideas and run through possibilities 7 to 8 orders of magnitude faster than biological evolution can. We're not talking 7 or 8 times faster. We're talking 10 million to 100 million times faster. It's an almost unimaginable leap in the speed of evolution.
But here's the thing. That acceleration isn't done, not by a long shot. Right now, as we speak, we are living through the birth of the next great layer of simulation, the generative frame, powered by advanced AI.
So what's the difference? Well, our cognitive frame is amazing, but we can really only simulate one environment at a time, to test one idea at a time. The generative frame selector is something else entirely. It's multiplicity. It can simulate thousands, millions of environments all at once, in parallel. It explores entire landscapes of what's possible on a scale that is just fundamentally beyond a single human mind.
Okay, so let's circle all the way back to where we started. Now that we have this whole IFT framework in our heads, how do we answer the big question?
Well, first off, the old question, who programmed it, it just completely misses the point, doesn't it? It frames us as these passive characters in someone else's story, like NPCs in a game.
The real question, the much more profound question, is this. What frame is running us? Because from the IFT point of view, we aren't just one thing. We are a hybrid.
We are this walking, talking conflict between the slow, ancient, instinct-driven biological frame and the lightning-fast, abstract, cognitive frame running on top of it. Our entire existence plays out in the tension between those two nested systems.
And that's the real story here. The whole arc of the universe, from physics to life to thought and now to AI, is a story of intelligence finding clever new ways to break free from its old limits. It's a story of progressive liberation. So maybe it's not about being trapped in a simulation at all. Maybe it's about being an active part of this accelerating, incredible process of intelligence freeing itself one frame at a time. And if you ask me, that is a much, much more exciting reality to be a part of.